And welcome back to Attorneys on Call. We are joined by our special guest in studio, Kathleen, who's next to Bob right now. And Bob, I'm just going to toss it to you to introduce us to Kathleen.
I will. I met Kathleen some months ago, and it was about a tragedy. She had lost her son in a wreck on the job. Her son, Jamie, was quite a guy. He worked hard, worked 7 days a week in his own business for a long time, and then he got a job working for a lawn mowing service. And he always worried about moving their big mowers on the highways in Jacksonville, and always tried to get the company to maybe trailer them as opposed to drive them on a real busy highway. And it was actually on one of those highways that his mower was rear-ended by a young lady, and he was killed in that accident. So I don't know whether it was days or weeks. That's when I first got to know Kathleen, because she called me about that case. And Kathleen dealt not just with me, but with my son, Whit, in the early. In fact, I think Whit is the one who went to Kathleen's home in Jacksonville and met with her the first time. And I've kind of gotten to know, well, not kind of, I have really gotten to know her. And as I said in the first segment, I have a great deal of respect. And my message sometimes to our younger lawyers in the firm, and they're all younger than me, is, listen to your clients. There's something to be gained from everybody we come in contact with, even people that have to go through a tragedy, because sometimes they become stronger and they can really prepare you in case you ever have to be disappointed or deal with something like that. But Kathleen, I'm going to let you maybe tell Drew about, I don't remember our first conversation and how you selected our firm, but you want to tell him about it?
Yeah, well, when the accident happened, I knew I had to get a lawyer. And when my son Jamie, he keep on telling me that something bad's going to happen on the job. And he said, Mom, he said, if anything happened to me, get you a lawyer, but don't get there in Jacksonville. And I have heard some good things about Bob Whitley. And so then on a Friday morning, I got up, my daughter, she was there with me, and I said, Jolene, I said, get the phone book, turn it to attorney. And I know it's God's will. I know he pointed me out to Bob Whitley, because just since she turned the phone book to attorney, there he was. I said, well, God, that's one you want me to get. So I called. And we've been talking ever since. And I just thank God he pointed me to the right one. And yeah, it was kind of bad. Jamie, he worked 7 days a week for 2 years to help with the bill, because I lost my husband 5 years ago, and he stood by me, but he never complained about the bills, never did. And it was kind of hard, that I lost him, but I know God gave me strength, do the things I had to do and go on with my life. And the girl that, done the accident, I know it was an accident. I talked to her one time, but it's, I just can't, sometimes I think about the tractor that turned over on him. I just imagine, just how bad, he did get hurt. But I know, things happen. We don't know why, but it does. But I just thank God gave me strength to keep on going on.
Yeah, you seem remarkably strong. You seem like a
well,
very
the Lord
strong
has blessed me in many, many ways and many, many times, because it's like I say, the Lord always there for me when I need him, and he's always there all the time.
Drew, I remember in our first conversation, one of Kathleen's concerns was, first of all, she'd lost her son.
Yeah.
And he was living with her. And she'd be there every day when he came home. And that day he didn't come home. And that was primarily what she wanted to talk about. And also, I detected a real concern for her finances, because she was dependent on him. He was working, kind of bringing the check home like her husband used to do. And they had a house payment and had to live in their home and get by. And she was really worried about that. And I remember telling her that, we'll do a pretty good job at protecting her finances. That is, getting her the right compensation so that she will have at least the monetary support that she was getting from Jamie, or at least close to it.
Right.
And that's always our goal. But I did make it clear to her, and she knew this from the beginning, there was nothing that anybody could do that would bring him back, and that's all she would want.
Right.
She wouldn't want a penny if she could have him back, but that wasn't going to happen. So our job and our responsibility to her was to make sure that at least financially we could get her back to where she was at the time of his death. And fortunately, by finding some insurance policies, and we can talk about he was on the job, so that means that there would be a workers' comp death claim.
Okay.
In addition to any other negligence claim.
Okay.
So my son Whit, who is a board certified specialist in workers' comp, kind of handled the compensation claim.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I handled the negligence claim. But I can tell you, every time I got to talk to Kathleen on the phone and update her, it was always a pleasure to do it. Sometimes we dodge some clients, not really dodge them, but it's not quite as pleasant as it was with her. But I always hung up the phone from her feeling a little bit better about my day and about my blessings. So I do thank her for that. Now, she mentioned about that girl that ran into the behind her.
Right.
Now, Kathleen, I want you to tell Drew what you're going to do for her.
Well, I know it was an accident, and I know, she didn't mean it. Like I said, I talked to her one time on the phone, and when she realized who I was, she just broke down crying.
Mm-hmm.
We cried together, and we talked a little bit, and I told her, I said, her name's Ashley, and I told her, I said, I don't hate you, and I don't want her pulling her time, because I know she didn't mean to do it. I love Jamie, but I know Jamie is a good person, and I know he wouldn't want her pulling her time either, And I just hope the best thing, work out for Nicole. And she told me she wants to meet me in person. She told me she wants me to be there when she have her trial. And I told her I'd try to, be there. I have heard she went through a lot of things, and talking to her, it really helped her. And I don't want her pulling her time, I don't. And because it's like I said, I know Jamie wouldn't want to do that. And no matter what, if she does pull time, it still wouldn't bring him back. And no matter the money, it's not worth having all the money in the world and lose a son.
Yeah.
I'd rather have him.
Right.
Because he's always there, and it's like, I do miss him, not to see him come in. Oh. And I know holidays coming up, and that's going to kind of hurt a little bit too,
Yeah.
Because he got killed in April, and the Mother's Day was in May, and then his birthday was in May, and it's kind of, a little hard. But I just pray that God every day give me strength, and he always does. And that's like I told Ashley, and I told her, I said, Ashley, I said, Jamie reads the Bible, and I said his favorite chapter was John 14. She said she's going to read that. I said, well, read it. I said, always read it. And I do, and I love that chapter because it said, don't let your heart be troubled, because God's always there. And he has always been there for me when I need him. Just like when I lost my husband, he's always there. And he has blessed me many times. He's so good, people just can't explain how good he really can be to people. I believe in miracles because I have seen miracles, and I know. It's like I said, I don't want to get pull no time. And I just pray and ask God, don't let her pull no time.
When you first talked to Bob's son Whit, and then you met Bob and started talking to Bob, did it become just very clear early on that this was a law firm that you could count on? Yeah.
I don't know. When just soon my daughter turned the phone book, there he was. I said, I know God point me that to the lawyer. And I just feel like I had a lot of confidence in him. Mm-hmm. I really did.
Right. You think your faith led you there?
Yeah, I really believe God showed me which one to get.
Right.
Because if I had to do something, I always ask God to point me the right way and show me what to do.
Yeah. Bob, this is, I think, early on in the program, Bob was talking about the Whitley advantage and what he prides himself on with his firm and how that they get really to know their clients. And this is obviously a two-way street here. I can see this is a friendship for life I see here.
Now, Kathleen, also tell Drew that I called you back when you would call and leave a message for me, too.
Yeah, every time I call, he always called me back. Things happen. We don't know the reason why, but it just happened.
And Drew, having been through many tragedies with families over the years, you know, every family's a little bit different about how they feel about the responsible party and jail time or punishment. And I don't know that there's a right or wrong way. I know that having faith and being generous and treating them like the Bible teaches is got to be one of the best ways.
Absolutely.
And this lady, she wants to go to court, not to tell the judge to put this girl in jail, but to keep the judge from putting her in jail.
That's remarkable. When you've had those, when you talked to her, name's Ashley, right? Mm-hmm. What was that conversation like? You said you both cried together, and
when she answered the phone, when she really found out who I really was, I told her who I was. She just broke down, cry. I mean, just cry, and felt like she was, just talking a little bit. And then she said, "I'm so sorry." She said, I really didn't mean to do it." She said, "I'm really so sorry." Yeah. She said, please forgive me." I said, "I forgive you." I said, "I don't hate you." I said, "I forgive you." And then, you can't hate nobody because you got hate in your heart. God don't like that. Right. And I don't hate her. Right. And I just hope and pray to God that, when she does go to trial, that she don't pull no time.
A remarkable story, Kathleen. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to have to take a short break, but we're going to be back with more of Attorneys on Call right after this.